Dana Barrett asked Dr. Venkman, why do you like being a Ghostbuster? He replied, same reason I asked you out, 'cause busting makes me feel good.
Ugh, that's tasteless.
No, ma'am, that's tasteless.
Spooky.
Movie review, bitches.
Welcome, everyone. Tasteless adjacent. Movie review is Scream, 1996 version. The original, not the newer one. So this is the one that started it all. I'm Jay Chowder. We got Fear the Reaper Bone.
Bam! Bitch went down.
That's correct. And Slopdog.
I'll be right back.
You guys are killing me. And oh boy, I want to kill myself for you guys. You ever be embarrassed for somebody? I love you guys. Anyway, welcome to Scream Movie Review. And this is, what can we say? It's a slasher film from the 90s. It starts off, fucking, you think the craziest thing about this movie, right away, Drew Barrymore's in it. You're like, Drew Barrymore's in this movie? Awesome. She's on the fucking poster? And you're like, all right, call Drew Barrymore. What is it, like 2 minutes in? This bitch dies? And you're like, fucking, they killed off Drew Barrymore. And that's what made this movie different for me. It wasn't just a regular slasher. It was of the time, of course, but at the same time, they just killed off a main character, like, right away. And you're like, oh, shit, like, what's going to happen in this movie? They need to go, anybody could die in this movie now, right? But it's a slasher movie. Guy wears a Ghostface mask. First one of there's like 7 is coming out next year. And then, so I love them, dude. Like, Scream and Saw, you get me every time to go see a new one, But so I love this franchise, and it's just like a slasher movie. So then all these kids are getting killed off in high school, played by 30-year-olds, and but hey, that's the 90s, and so all these kids are getting killed off, and then it's kind of a mystery and a horror movie, like kind of who is the killer, and you're trying to figure out through the whole movie who the killer is, and then people are getting just knocked off, and it's just, to me, it's fucking fabulous. I mean, as a kid watching this for the first time, I was like, I remember I had to go buy it right away. I was like, this movie is fucking good. I remember when part 2 came out, I skipped school for like a week because we weren't going to see it. Part 2, I went with Papa. We were going to go to the mall, remember? And I remember we were going to see it the second week it came on, not the first week. So after the week it came on that Friday, I was like sick that whole next week of school because I didn't want anybody to tell me anything about Scream 2. So I just skipped a week of school, said I was sick. People thought I had AIDS or something. And I'm just like, nope, I don't want to hear how this movie starts. And then the kicker is, we went and they wouldn't let me in because I was too young. And then even though they wouldn't, and Slopdog didn't count as my whatever, they're just fucking assholes. Let me in, you cunts. Anyway, and then, so I had to wait and see it. And but then no one did ruin it for me, but I missed a whole week of school for nothing. But anyway, so it's just a great franchise. Again, Drew Barrymore dies right off the bat, and then you don't know who the killer is through the whole movie until the end of the movie, and it's just a great reveal. And it's like, I don't know, it's just fucking good. But it definitely is hardcore 90s. Like when there is, you were saying this too, Slop, like I know you want to say something about this because I remember when the guy is like, when Billy, they think Billy's the killer at first, right? Because he comes in and he comes into her room after Sidney gets chased around, and then the cell phone falls out of his pocket. One of the questions asked him is, why would you have a cell phone on you? Like the sheriff asked Billy.
Yes. And they kept calling it a cellular phone.
Yes, why would you have
a cellular phone? They keep saying the whole thing every time.
Yes,
it's gonna
cell phone.
It's gonna take us a long time to look up all the cellular phone calls.
Yes. He's like, Sheriff, everybody's got one now. But it's like nowadays, that would never be a question of why do you have a cell phone on you? Everyone's got a cell phone on now. But a cellular phone. And then it's one of those things like, in the night, like if would a
nobody
cellular
really had
phone have
that.
changed this movie? Yes, and it would have for sure because
Yes.
no one really had them back then. Like every now and again, you had a flip phone or something, and then but I didn't have a real phone until 2 years ago, and a cell phone, and then I was using a burner phone, like I'm fucking on the run or something. But like I thought that was great.
So when he drops the phone, like when he first comes in her window, like after the screen guy chases her, and she's in her bedroom, and he comes through the window, and the phone falls out of his pocket. It looks like a calculator. Like, did anybody else catch that?
It's fucking
remember
huge.
the calculator that you had to sign out and be all careful with?
What is this Texas instrument falling out of your pocket?
I was like, what the hell? Did he drop a calculator?
It was massive.
Why is it so big? What are you hiding in your pants, Billy? Nothing. And,
that's why Nev Campbell didn't want to have sex with him.
She's like, I know what you got in there. That ain't no cellular phone.
He didn't want that awkward conversation of who's your first, and she's like, well, I fucked Billy, but he's got no dick, so does that even count? So then, does she count the next guy who fucks her with a real dick as her real boyfriend, as the real virginity loss, or she count no dick Billy as her fucking first time? You know what I mean? And poor no dick Billy. And
can we talk about what a terrible actor David Arquette is in this movie? Like, he's so bad.
I love David Arquette. No,
but in this movie, he is not believable as a police officer whatsoever.
But I like that because he's just he's a doof. And like for instance, when Sydney goes to the door and she opens it, and he just holds the mask and he's like, yeah. I'm like, I love that part, and I love the relationship between the fucking him and Tatum, who's his sister, and then the other time where she's at her house and they get the call. And they're like, what's going on? And then 2 seconds later, he comes out with a gun. And then he's like, hello, on the phone. Totally just missed everything that just happened. I don't know. I think he was supposed to be that way.
She tears him down. She tears him down at the police station. She's like, okay, Officer Dewey, can we go now? It's like, yikes.
Can we talk what a cunt Tatum is? Good thing you got killed, bitch. And
But he doesn't even try to act like a real cop. He's obviously just someone trying to play a cop. It's so bad. It's not believable at all.
See, I gotta go the opposite stuff. I gotta say,
I'm not a big Dave Arquette fan. I'm just not a big Dave Arquette fan. And I feel bad. And then I'm like, oh my God. And Courtney Cox was married to him? No wonder why it didn't work out.
Oh, yeah. They fucked, yeah. What about Courtney Cox? How good was she? Only know her. We love Friends, Slopdog and me.
Yes,
Slopdog and I.
Friends, but she is horrible in this movie as well. I think she's a terrible actress in this movie.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I was gonna say, did you like how she was fucking she could be it was she wasn't Monica. She was just a bitch who was a reporter who was trying to just get her. And I was like, oh man, I loved how she could switch her character from Monica, how you normally knew her as. And then when and then in the movie Scream, you're like, oh my gosh, to me, she played a totally different character. Something you hated her. And I mean, if you said nowadays, God bless her, I think she looked great how she did back then. And I mean, be who you want to be, whatever makes you feel good. But I think you should age naturally. What she's done now, I'm kind of oh man, Courtney, no, I love the way you looked before, and but how actresses, everyone gets work done and stuff like that. But
it's not.
But I loved.
But it's her acting. I feel like she's Monica trying to play a person, a reporter. I don't feel like she did act well in this movie either. I'm sorry, I don't.
No, I'm not Courtney Cox. I think she's great. I totally opposite. I was excited to talk to you. I was like, "Stop! We love Friends. Isn't it great how she can turn a role?" And you're like, "No, let me stop you there, fat boy. She fucking stinks in this movie."
It's terrible. And all I can think of is the freaking, the scary movie where they make fun of it, and it's like, "Hey, Gail, Gail swallows."
Sorry, Courtney Cox, about your appearance. You still look good. I just wish you didn't. I wish you just aged naturally. You know what I mean? I like that look better, but you're still gorgeous. If I was not married,
I think everybody should age naturally. All the plastic surgery, and it never looks natural. Just age and
just
be
let
you.
It go. Let it go.
Remember when we were kids, Tim? And we all went to the sex shop, remember? And there was one friend of yours who bought a penis pump, I'm like, what the fuck? You got no dick? And he's like, no, I bought it as a joke. Well, you know that fucker had no dick. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
You have to remind me of what trend that was.
Oh, I'll tell you exactly who it was, but not on here. But like, and then like, I'm like, maybe he could get some plastic surgery on his dick. I guess maybe, right? Is that acceptable? I mean, you should age naturally, but I guess if you're fucking got no dick like Billy, you're just like, Billy could have used a penis pump maybe, and then Kimber would have been like, yeah, let's fuck hardcore. You know what I mean? Let me call my mother's name out, my dead mother's name as we fuck, and God bless her. And what?
I think my favorite characters, honestly, in the whole film, like as far as acting and just playing the character and stuff, were Matthew Lillard and Rose McGowan. I liked Tatum, and I liked Stu. They played the character well. Stu was awesome. He did a lot of foreshadowing all through the movie that he was the killer, and Billy kept telling him to kind of like shut up. And you just thought it was Billy.
Fucking idiot.
You just thought it was Billy telling him. Jamie Kennedy. Oh yeah, Jamie Kennedy was actually good too.
I thought he was pretty good in this movie, and I love that they're at a video store. He's working at the video store. Like, when it's something that dates a movie, I'm like, wow, that really dates this movie.
But no, I
you
agree.
Everyone got that from cellular phones.
No, but that's true. He's like when they're talking about it at the water fountain, and he's like, I didn't kill anybody. And then Billy's like, no one said you did. After you watch it and know that they're the killers, you go, oh, that's obvious. But when you're watching the movie just straight through, you go, that's that's weird. It's just kind of a weird thing, but you don't really suspect it until, and then, and like you said, then through the movie.
If you've never seen Scream, sorry.
96 motherfuckers, get into the fucking program.
When they're at the video store, they're talking to Jamie Kennedy about it, and Matthew Lillard like plays with his earlobe. Did anybody else catch that?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Matthew Lillard and Billy, like Billy and Stu, really had like a thing going on. It feels like at the end when Billy was like explaining to what's her face, Sydney, what like he's in back, like right on his back, like into his like lips on his ears. I'm like, what's going on?
Yes. He was a little fruity in this movie, and I liked it. That's another thing. Like, that's a rumor, too, and I was wondering that, too. Do you guys think Billy and Stu are gay? Like again, at the end of the movie, how great is it? Never been done, right? Or maybe it was done, I don't know. But this movie, just a surprise. One killer comes out, you're like, oh, my God, he is the killer, because he got fake stabbed, right? And then you see fucking Stu come around, and he's like, surprise. And you're like, oh, my God, there's fucking two of them. And, like, I remember just fucking dick being hard as stone watching this movie, going, like, I can't fucking believe this. But again, when they're and they're talking at the end, it's like, were they gay for each other? Like, I think they might have fucked each other at the side. Like, that's how Billy got him to get along. He's like, well, let's fuck Stu, Like, cause like, like when they're stabbing each other, he's like, come on, get it. Like, you think that's what he said when he put his ass in the air for Billy? Come on, get it. And he just stabbed him with his dick in the ass. There was blood there, too. And, but anyway.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think.
Let's move on. The part with the garage door?
Let's get away from this. And,
the part with the garage door? Oh, like how she dies with Tatum. Is it Tatum that dies in the garage door?
Yeah.
Okay.
She died from the garage door, Ghostface, and her big tits.
Well, yes. So we were laughing. My husband watched it with me. We were laughing because I said to him, oh, because I haven't seen this movie in forever. And I said to him, doesn't she die? Something to do with the garage door? And he says, yeah, her tits get stuck in the cat door. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that cannot be what happens. He's like,
yeah.
And it kind of is like half her body with her boobs are like sticking out.
Yes. Dude, that's like one of the best death scenes in any of the Screams. Is that one?
That's a good scene.
It's so great.
Absolutely.
And side note, Tatum is a girl that Bone would fuck for sure. Like
Tatum is totally my type.
She's got an attitude. Yeah, that's why you're like, I loved her. And Stu, I'm like, of course you did. Your fucking dick was out while you watched it. And I think it's
the part where Sydney, what is her name supposed to be? Sydney finds Tatum like hanging in the garage. Like, it's so obviously a mannequin. Like, they did not spend the budget on that. That's for sure. I was like, oh, that's bad.
The budget for that movie was $7 million.
I thought you were gonna say $7.
$7.
$7. And
They gave half of it to David Arquette. I don't know. Sorry.
he's great acting, you're right. And I
Habit is
love
great.
the tie-in where the principal is Fonzie, right? Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's ringing the door, and he goes out, and he's like, "Goddamn kids!" And then the janitor
Yes.
is like, "What?" He's wearing a Freddy Krueger sweatshirt, a Freddy Krueger hat. His name is Fred, and it's played by Wes Craven, who is the janitor. And I'm like,
Oh.
that's so fucking great.
Yeah.
That's a great tie-in. And
Super
then
cool
also
tie-in.
when Billy comes into the room and he's talking about how he watched Exorcist, right? And like edited for television. And then later on, one of the reporters is like, "How does it feel to be almost brutally murdered?" Was the girl from The Exorcist, Linda Blair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, that's
Yep.
cool.
That I thought it
didn't
was
really
such
think
a
of that.
Also, I like
such a good tie-in.
in the beginning. What's her name? Drew Barrymore's character, Casey, when she was talking on the phone in the beginning, and he asked, "What's your favorite? What do you think my favorite scary movie is?" She's like, "Nightmare on Elm Street," and he's like, "Oh, those are good." And she's like, "Oh, only the first one was good. The rest of them sucked." And it's funny because Wes Craven I think he was only involved in the first one, and then Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which was afterwards. But as far as Nightmare on Elm Street, he was only involved really in the first one. And I think it was kind of like a shot at the rest of the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Yeah, the first one, but then the rest. Like, fuck you. He's like, "I would have put all my dicks in this fucking movie. Suck my Wes Craven dick." And
Tatum says like, "Oh, you're like this. What is this? It feels like we're in a Wes Craven at one point as well."
I think it's a lot of good tie-ins. There was a story I heard. I think Jamie Kennedy told her something, but Wes Craven before he was like a director, he was like, he drove cab or something, and he always kept that in his wallet or on his nightstand or something. And then I don't know. I think it was Jamie Kennedy, right? He was like, "Well, why do you keep?" He's like, "I keep it to remind myself of like basically how hard he had to work prior." And so like he didn't take being a director or being in movies for granted. He'd always, as if he ever did, he could always look at his, in his wallet and see that like cab ID and go, "Oh, that's right. You could be driving a cab. You could be taking shit. You could hate your fucking job, So I think that's really cool. I love that story of enjoying what you do. And a side note, there's a girl named Dana in this movie who's apparently a whore, because I never noticed it before until I was watching it, and I guess for the review. But like when she's in there before she gets attacked, and that girl's like, "Oh yeah, I don't know, the two girls are badmouthing her in the bathroom, and they go on the wall. It says equals fast. So whoever Dana is a fucking whore. And
I missed that
nobody
one.
else catch that.
No, I missed
I
that
didn't
one.
catch that, but the part where she hears the two girls talking, like they both look like they're in their like 30s for one thing. But the girl with the dark hair, the short dark hair, she is homely. Like she looks like a man with a wig on, doesn't she? Like she is hideous. I'm like, why did you?
She's ahead of her time
like,
in the
Jesus.
transgender switcheroo.
The other thing is why are their houses all so big? Like they all live in these huge fucking houses.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's kind of like like the Scream guy can like Scooby Doo it. You know what I mean? So
Lucky
they can
bastards.
Like chasing them through the house. Like
Yeah.
let's go down the stairs, up the stairs. Let's go through this door, then over here. And
Right.
over the door. Because like in our house, it'd be over too quick. They'd be just right there. Like there's all
Yeah, we lived in a one-bedroom apartment as kids. Fucking try screaming in that fucking apartment. But when we grew up, we like fucking neighbors next door. Maybe they'd hear you. They'd call the cops because they hear you getting murdered. Yeah, how are you hiding in our apartment? No fucking way. One bedroom,
500 square feet.
The other bedroom was actually the living room. We had a kitchen and a toilet. Like that's fucking it, And no screaming in our house. If you're gonna be a millionaire to get murdered, I guess. So I guess we're safe. They're probably like when people like us. They're like, why bother? They already got a miserable life.
Also, a couple more tie-ins. Did you notice that Billy, the way his hair's slicked back and stuff, he reminds me of Johnny Depp's character, like the way he looks in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. That was the whole style. I'm pretty sure Tatum at the party is wearing the jersey that
number
Johnny
10,
Depp
right?
wears. Yeah, that was the same jersey as Johnny Depp in the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think that's a tie-in as well. I do believe that as well. And I think
lots of great tie-ins.
I love also like when the curfew's happening and it's like, all right, curfew, ding, ding. And it shows a couple old people like hurrying to the car. I'm like, no one's killing you, bitch. And then the second one is there's a lady with her fucking kid having a picnic prior to the curfew. There's a murderer running around. Why the fuck are you having a picnic with your child in the fucking just random openness? What are you doing?
That's a good question.
Nick, before the curfew.
I'm in my car recording this. I just heard a bang, and I'm like, "Oh my god, Scream's coming! Someone's going to get me!" And get fucking dirty. Spark.
You know what I
scared myself.
You know what I honestly loved about Scream? It did it started a trend of a bunch of like movies that were nowhere near as good as it, but it did start a trend. Like it was this 90s like slasher feel. Like there wasn't a whole lot of movies like that got like there's a lot of 80s horror movies that you could feel came from the 80s or came from the 70s. Scream really had that 90s feel. It started that Urban Legends and I Know What You Did Last Summer all came after that, and they all felt like very similar. But Scream did it the best, and they did it first.
Would you say this is the order to go? Scream is the A. I Know What You Did Last Summer is the B, or you know what I mean? Like Scream is the NSYNC. Fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer is the Backstreet Boys, and Urban Legends is like 98 Degrees.
I'm not sure if
Right?
I would phrase it that way, but I guess that works.
I'm just going by boy band status.
Yeah, I understand.
Chowder knows. Chowder knows.
Oh, he knows his boy bands.
He does.
But it just really...
It's
it really had a
tearing up
90s
my
feel.
ass when I'm with you. Billy and Stu are fucking and killing, and they're murdering people. They're murdering each other's assholes. And
When did Final Destination come out? Because I felt like Final Destination had a similar feel as well. Like it felt 90s.
It was 90s. It was definitely. I feel like it was the
90s, but I don't put it in the slasher film category. I put it as
Well,
own
no.
kind of.
I didn't say it was
I still
slasher,
can't
but it
drive
definitely
behind
had
a
a
log truck.
90s feel to it. Yeah, no,
Yes.
you see a log truck, you don't fucking go near it.
Yes, I
You
think
always
that's
think
anybody
like-
who's seen that movie.
Yes,
Absolutely.
get the hell away from that thing. I'm like, oh hell no.
We need comments, people. When you go, have you seen Final Destination? I don't know what number it is, but the one with the log truck and the log kill everybody. Have you
that's
seen
the
that
first
movie? And now has it messed you up for life? You cannot drive anywhere near a log truck. If you're on the highway, log truck pulls up, you're speeding past it, getting the fuck out of Dodge. Put us in a comment. Is that true
Oh, yeah.
or not true to you? I think
Fuck
anybody in our
that.
generation is like, fuck this log thing. It's gonna break and kill everybody. And you're like, I'm fucking out of here. And a side note, what do you guys think? All right, so of course Billy's the killer. He gets shot in the head. He's fucking dead, right? He shows up and like the later screams is like because one of the girls is like his daughter, but he shows up as like a just an illusion or she's thinking about her father. Anyway, premonition. I don't know what the fucking right word is. But then Stu, they never really explain that. Do you think Stu's alive or dead? Because I think Stu's alive, and I think they're gonna bring him back in part 7.
I could see that. I've honestly only
Because-
seen the first 2, so I don't
How
know.
dare you?
What?
And Slopdog?
I've only seen the first one.
Do you think Stu's alive or dead?
I mean,
I could see Stu
I
being
don't know.
alive.
I guess
Well,
they could
just,
make
he
him
just got a little
alive.
shock. His nose broken.
A little TV, yeah, right? So back and forth. I think everybody's like they're in the Scream world. Is he alive or not alive? But I think he's alive, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing 7. Hopefully he comes back. But anyway, 96. There's some spoilers. Go fuck your mother. And God bless America. And I would say this movie holds up from being a kid. I still like it to this day. The other day, like I watched it with my kid, but I wanted to make sure like he could handle it, so we watched the trailer. I remember I got a little high, and I watched the trailer, and I was like, I gotta watch this fucking movie because I was and I was excited to watch Scream. I hadn't watched it maybe 5 or 10 years, and I was like, I'm excited to watch this movie again. And I gotta tell you, I'm excited. So me watching this movie, I feel it still holds up, and I'm gonna give the movie 5 dog dicks. Bone?
Well, you did miss school for the entire, week for these movies, so I expected it. So there was a couple things like I did really like this movie. I think it was great. It started a whole genre. Like I said, it was a great slasher film. It gave you all those stereotypes on purpose, and like the whole through the movie going, this is against the rules, and explaining what harm
Yes,
the rules
the
are.
rules.
So I love it because it was just laid out. Wes Craven just did such a great
Touch
job
that.
with this film. The soundtrack.
Jamie
could have been
Kennedy was
better.
great, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Jamie Kennedy was awesome. The score was good. The score was great. I love the score. The soundtrack could have been better. I honestly, the only song I really liked was the "Don't Fear the Reaper" remake by Gus
Right.
Black. I didn't
Hence
know
our
Gus
screaming in the
Black
beginning.
did it.
I love Whisper to the
Very
Scream at
90s.
the end of the movie. Like the credits, the Whisper to the Scream song always got me pumped, and I would like maybe want to watch the movie again and just made me feel good. But all right, maybe that's just me. Okay,
I mean, it's just
yeah,
I wish they would have been just the cold opening in the beginning, because when it
yeah.
flashed Scream and then did the cold opening with Sydney, I wish it would have just started there and not did the Scream opening. But that's just me. That's a little tiny. But overall, I really like this film. I forgot how much I did enjoy it. I'm gonna give it 4 dog dicks.
4 dog dicks. Okay, Slopdog, how about yourself?
I mean, forever. I don't think I've watched it since it came out. Like, I think I watched it like when it first came out. But I honestly don't think I've watched it since then. So that's a really long time. So it's fun to watch because it's that time of year to watch, like, you know, like more scary stuff. And it's kind of cheesy, so it's not like terrifying. It's not like I'm afraid to go to bed. Or
Right.
Like,
My kid
you know,
watched it with me. He liked it.
yeah, like exactly, like that kind of a feel to it. I do think, and I'm sorry, like, because I know it hurt your feelings, but I do think David Arquette was horrible in this movie, and I think that like,
man.
and I like Courtney Cox. I love Courtney Cox, but like, she's terrible in this movie. They're both horrible. I guess they probably fell in love maybe during this movie. Maybe that's why things didn't work out because it's bad. Anyway, so
Jesus.
so I have to take
Your
points
marriage
off
failed
Courtney.
because your acting sucks. Sign Slopdog. Fuck your mother.
Stamp, like right with that big stamp. Anyway, so I'm gonna give it 3 and a tip. 3 and
3
a half.
dog dicks and a tip. Okay.
I think
That's
they
not
take
too
away from
shabby,
it.
right?
Not too shabby, and I like the '90s feel of it though. Like especially like right in
Yeah.
the beginning with Drew Barrymore, like the way the house looks, like the way she looks, like the way she's dressed, like even the way her hair is, like even the stuff she's doing. She's not even making microwave popcorn. She's making freaking Jiffy Pop, and she's
I love Jiffy Pop.
she's getting ready to watch like a movie that she rented. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And she answers the phone, and it's a cordless phone, like, you know, like a regular house phone, like that you wouldn't, you know, what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
all
not
of
a
that
cell
is
phone.
very 90s, you know. So it's just funny because it's all that's like a big part. Like them renting movies and watching movies is a big part of this movie. Like even like Nev Campbell, like when she first gets attacked because she's by herself, she's waiting for a friend to come over, right? And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop at the video store on my way over."
Yeah.
I miss
And
that.
just tell-
I think
right?
that
It
gives
just
me the
tells
good
the time
feels.
period. Yes, me too. Like
Going to
that's
the
what I mean,
video
like
store
that-
was one of the best things. Like the weekend's coming up, I'm gonna go fucking buy 3. I'm gonna rent 3 videos and get 1 free. I'm fucking stoked. I'm watching 4 movies this
Yeah.
weekend.
And you're hoping it was there. You go and you see the box cover. You're like, is there a movie behind it? And if not, you'd harass the fucking clerk behind the thing. Every time you'd hear a clunk in the box, you'd be like, hey, is that the movie I'm looking for? Like, let me look, you fucking little cunt. Jesus Christ. And then fucking look through. No, it's fucking Uncle Buck and Serial Mom. You're like, fuck.
Having the stream is awesome, you know, having it at the
Yes.
touch of your fingers, but like just going to the movie store just had some kind of magic to
Yes.
it, you know?
Yes,
It
I
was
do agree.
awesome.
Yes.
It was amazing. And kids today would never understand. They're like, well, why streaming is just better. It's kind of like going to the movies. I love going to the movies. It's magical to go to the
Oh, I
movies. To
still
see
love
it on
going.
the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
screen. I was so excited to bring my son to go see Ghostbusters, and that was the first film, you know, he got to see ever on, you know, one of the new Ghostbusters, and he was so excited and he loved it. And that is like the magic. Instead of streaming on TV and sitting there jerking off, it's just I'd rather
Yeah, jerk off in the theater.
Yeah,
like a real American.
Instead. Like Pee Wee. Paul Rubin.
Like how we grew up, motherfucker. Look at Bo teaching his kid. You don't just jerk off at home, son. You jerk off in the fucking big screen. You know, no one can really see you. It's dark in here. Maybe you fill up this cup holder. That's a little treat for the next person when they put their cup in it and it gets stuck. Like, oh, I think there's something sticking here, gum or something. No, man, that's my kid's fucking cum. You like it. And we're bonding in here. Anyway.
Well, a couple facts quick. I just wanted to give what other people have rated this film. IMDb gave it a 7.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes critics gave it 81%. Audience gave it 80%. On Letterboxd, it was 4.4 out of 5. Metacritic, the critics gave it 66%. Users, 8.2, but I think that's a different kind of rating, like 8.2 out of 10 and 66% out of 100. The Google viewers gave it a 4.5. So overall, people really like this movie, and I have to agree with them.
What it tastes
movie.
What it tastes does Jason give it?
a little over 4 dog dicks. 4 dog dicks and just the tippest of the tip. Not quite the tip.
4 dogs. Oh,
Just
boy,
rub the tip on it. It didn't actually insert.
Get that hole wet.
Almost-
Yeah, get it wet. Feel that juice. Oh, man, I like it. And,
yeah, I know we're going to sign off soon and stuff, so I kind of just want to get our plugs out there. You know, thanks
plug
for everybody.
it up.
Thanks,
Plug
everybody.
it up, baby.
Trying.
Fucking cut
Thanks everybody for who's been regularly listening, downloading. We've been getting some more views. We love it. Check us out. Make sure you're checking us out on Instagram. We do a lot of updates. Follow us on there, and we'll Tasteless Adjacent at X. We don't do as much because it's all sex spots right now, but Tasteless ADJ. If people start following us, I'll do some more on there. Get all the newest updates and stuff. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Audible, wherever you get podcasts. So the newest one downloads automatically for you. On YouTube,
Tasteless Adjacent, right, Bone?
Yep, Tasteless Adjacent. On YouTube, check us out. We're on it doesn't have a separate Tasteless Adjacent, but if you Google Tasteless Adjacent look it up on YouTube, it'll pop up, but it's on the Pee When You Poo Club site. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a review on Apple or something, and wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd love to hear from you.
Good or bad, or mothers or whores, whatever. At P when I what'd you think? How many dog dicks?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, share what you think of the movie that we reviewed.
Yeah, say
right, motherfucker.
You guys suck. I'd give this 2 dog dicks, or you guys are fucking crazy. I'd give it 5 dog dicks and a tip.
I give the movie 5 dog dicks, and your podcast fucking pussy dog. No dog dick at all. You're like, oh, motherfucker. And yeah. So check us out on the socials. PWhenIPoo.club is gonna bring you right to the YouTube channel, and at PWhenIPoo also on Instagram and X. That's kind of my personal one where I go and kick around, and I'll throw some sketches up there soon as well. But yeah, check out both his Adjacent, PWhenIPoo, and just fucking enjoy yourself, and enjoy, and I don't know, finger somebody. Ask their permission first, and then finger them. And
permission is very important.
Permission is very important. You can't just say, "Hey, Grandma, I'm gonna finger you," and then just start away. Your grandma's gonna go, "What the fuck are you doing?" You're like, "Well, she's like, I didn't say yes," and you're like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, Grandma." And then she's like, "All right, yes," and you're like, "All right, party on, Wayne, party on, God." And what? You know what I'm saying? Nothing. All right. So say it to shepherd. So say it to flock. Enjoy. Have a good night, folks.
Good night, everybody. I'll be back.
AIDS.
What are you, some kind of dog dick? Dick.
Well, has David Arquette actually been in anything else? Besides Courtney Cox's pussy? Like, anything?
Maybe Chowder's mouth. He's jerking off.
I wish.
And his dreams.
He's a wrestler too. He wrestles. He used to wrestle part-time. Fuck yeah.
He wrestles? Who's he wrestling?
He wrestled back in the day, and then he won the WCW championship, and people were mad at him. And then he tried to get back out there and kind of prove himself a little bit, and tried to wrestle again. There's a documentary on it. It's fucking. I can only watch half of it because it made me sad.
Is that why you love him
people
so
were
much?
like trying to teach him because I like wrestling, maybe. No, I didn't like Arquette. I just love his craziness, and I just love it, man. I don't know.
About him, I don't like him.
I feel
like he's.
I feel
he
he has the same spirit in him.
Mean. Like, I feel like he's an asshole. No, I don't.
Well, I don't feel he's mean at all. I feel he's goofy.
I don't know. I feel like he's an asshole. Like, he feels like he's too good for everybody. Like, he'd be like,
oh my God, I don't get that ever.
I don't know. I feel like
God.
If he went and took a big shit, right? And he went in there like, oh God, what is that? He'd be like, that's my shit, boy. And you'd be like, well, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Well, I want to invest why this. Do you think he ruined Courtney Cox? Is that what happened? Is this where you're coming from? You're like, I love Friends. He ruined my Courtney. And now, he put his fucking Arquette spunk in her and really ruined her. She ain't acting right. She ain't doing anything right. Thanks, Arquette. Ruined my Courtney. And like, oh my God. You got a doll in your hand. You're petting the hair on it. My Courtney. And
I just
with a
I
fucking
didn't
dartboard
like
with
him.
Arquette's face on
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah.
He's just such a weird. I don't like him. I just don't. Damn it.
Well, I like him. I love you, Arquette. Come on the podcast.